Good morning. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, remote off-grid homestead series. Alright, so let's take a look at my fields now. Ooh, I forgot to run the weeder through this yesterday. Now I'm paying for that. These are all medium weeds, which means the weeder won't do anything for them. The sunflowers are looking really nice. Alright. Grass looks... It says it's ready to harvest, but really it's not ready to harvest till next month. Alright, that was my brother calling. He was wanting to buy a couple old cars I have out here. Because you're bothering him for no reason. Alright. Okay, now hopefully I can get the family to calm down and leave me alone. It's almost like they wait for me to start recording a video before they just pounce on me. And it doesn't matter if I record 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. Yeah, yelling at my wife to stop bothering my son because I told her we're having Papa John's for dinner tomorrow, and she felt the need to immediately call him and tell him, even though I know he's busy right now, but he wasn't very happy about being interrupted either. Looks like one of those honey pallets is full. So that can go in storage. And we got quite a bit of flour today. And it looks like I'm just gonna have to live with the weeds in canola for now, for this year. Since I made a mistake, I have to pay the price for my mistake. Alright, I'll see you at the shop. Alright, here we are at the shop. Let's see what we get this month. This 2 weeks. Alright, 8,500. Not bad whatsoever. Alright, I'm heading back to this farm. Alright, here I am back at the farm. Alright, since it's the first 2 weeks of the month, I have to do the water. Alright. Now that I'm done watering these first two so I don't have to worry about accidentally putting any water in it, I'll go ahead and get the next greenhouse ordered. All right. Yep, and the last two should fit. So I think this one, next month when it's been delivered and set up, will be garlic, followed by spring onions and then Napa cabbage last. That's all the water you wanted? Alright. Surprisingly, mushroom greenhouses don't use that much water. I would think they would use more, not less. Alright. Come on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab the John Deere and hook up to the weeder and go ahead and try it. Because the weeder should still work on first growth stage. And since this is the first week of the new month, those weeds should be in the first growth stage. Should be fine to drive on the canola now, still. Yeah. Alright, seems to be removing the weeds. Okay, I'll be back when it's done. Alright, the weeding is done, so that appears to have worked. Go ahead and put the weeder away. And next month I'm going to have to mow this grass and maybe harvest the sunflowers. Alright. Second half of September now. Looks good. Get it up on there. Sit it down. These are nice. Oyster mushrooms are nice. I've said it multiple times, but I really don't understand why portobellos aren't on here. I like a good portobello. Because I do like good portobello mushrooms. Of course, in spring, everybody goes searching for morel mushrooms. I've only ever found morel mushrooms once. I just don't seem to have the skill or the talent for it. I know some people that go out to the woods with a pillowcase, come back with a full pillowcase every time. Although nowadays they tell everybody to use those wire bags, like what onions or onions come in. That way, as you're carrying the mushrooms around, the spores are falling out and spreading around the woods. But from what I've been told, hunting for morels is kind of a thing that once you start being successful at it, you become ever more successful at it as you adjust, as to where until you start actually finding some, you don't have the ability to start picking up the skill to spot them. And the only time I ever found them was when I was a child and they were growing at the base of a sassafras tree. Which, as far as I can tell, is actually exactly where you're supposed to not find them. Well, the flower has been busy again this month, this half month. I've already hauled 4 out, and there's still 4 more down there. We have a 3rd pallet of tomatoes this time. No, not if we can push that pallet back into place. Don't need my produce falling off the wagon before it gets to the market. Yeah, so far, while I have done some field work with it, I'm definitely using the Unimog more as that truck than has the tractor. Alright, I'll see you at the market. Alright, here we are at the shop. Alright, 9,100. Now we'll head back to the farm. Alright, here we are back at the farm. Okay, let's go ahead and advance to the next month. Welcome to the month of October. Yeah, David. Oh, want some plowing done. So once I get my work done, maybe I'll go check in on that. Sunflowers aren't ready yet. The grass is ready. Guess there's still some weeds in here. Alright, and then I need to get that field down there planted to barley. Alright. So now, looking for the one with no waters, here it is. So you're going to do garlic. There we go. Nice big batch of flour still there. And how much? We're almost out of oats. Alright, 30 barley equals 27 flour. Oat. 15 oats equals 20 flour. Okay. 5 wheat equals 5 flour, so that's a 1-for-1. This is a slightly, yeah, 1-for-1 on wheat. Slightly accelerated for oat. Slight loss on barley. How about sorghum? Slight gain on sorghum. Okay. So it looks like wheat is actually one of the better things to make flour out of. Wheat and oats. I guess a lot depends on yield. Because I know when I harvested wheat, I couldn't fit all the wheat into the windmill. I had to stick some of it into the silo. But I could have easily fitted all the... Oh, I did easily fit all the oats into the windmill. Oh, so I got a third pallet of chili peppers this time. Nice. That's always appreciated. So I'm gonna have to do the stacking a little differently. But I can manage. So as usual, I'll put my first pallet right in the center. Perfect. I'll pick up the third pallet of peppers. Along with the one pallet of oyster mushrooms. They can go in there together. Put these strawberries in the center, second row. Alright, being summoned again. Back to loading. So that time, since I was already being interrupted, I went ahead and went out and took care of my real-life animals. I still have 3 pigs and 14 chickens. The 3 pigs number's just about right. However, I'm gonna have to cycle through like 102 chickens just to meet my meat needs for the year. So I got 20 eggs in the incubator now. When they come out, I'll put 20 more in. So on average, we eat chicken twice a week. So 52 weeks times 2 means we end up needing 104 chickens for the week, but then we subtract a couple weeks off for things like Thanksgiving and Christmas, Easter, where we'll have a day where we normally eat chicken, where we eat turkey or ham instead. Although sometimes I'll throw a turkey in just for the hell of it, because I raised a bunch of turkeys last year, and of the 15 turkeys, which people said they wanted, that they were definitely going to come and get, 0 came and got. This has been a huge problem for me running my homestead. People keep saying they're gonna come get stuff. They might even put a deposit down, but when it actually comes time to show up and pay for the rest of it, they don't. So I ended up with 18 turkeys in the freezer. What the hell am I supposed to do with 18 turkeys? Well, you start having turkeys on days other than Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then make matters worse, we're given turkeys, because I work off the farm, my mother works off the farm, my son works off the farm, so all of us are given turkeys by our employers. So we end up with anywhere from 3 to 6 extra turkeys beyond just the ones we have. So at least those are commercial turkeys, so we can just donate them out easily enough. The turkeys we raise, we have to go through, have to jump through a few hoops and stuff. But a commercial turkey that's still wrapped and frozen, we can just give that to the food bank and then they can give it away. Alright, I'm pretty sure we're done with all the flour now. Yeah, that canola crop isn't going to yield so well because I was running long on that recording and I was rushing to get to the end of the recording. Not only did I forget to weed the field, I also forgot to roll the field. Alright, I'll see you at the shop. Alright, here I am at the shop. Let's see what we get. Alright, 9,100. Not bad. Almost got enough here to get another. Let's check. I think next month is when I sell my flour. No, it's December. So what sells in November? Let me check canola oil. Alright, canola oil sells in November. What about straw? Straw's December. Hay is January. Honey is February. All right. Kimchi would sell now. All right. All right. I'll see you back at the farm. All right. Here I am back at the farm. So I'm gonna move further down. Here we go. All right. Let's check. All right. Yeah, it looks like I still got enough there for 3 more pallets of flour in the windmill. When does sunflower oil hit its best price? That's a good question. Sunflower oil in February. Okay. So if I harvest next month, which I think it should, I should still have a couple of months to get some sunflower oil processed. I'm gonna grab my cedar. No, actually I'm not. I forgot. This is the beginning of the month. I need to do water. Then I'll grab my cedar and plant the barley. I'll wait until tomorrow to cut the grass. Okay. The garlic's popped into production, so I will go ahead and finish filling all these greenhouses offline because this is kind of a brainless task and it's boring to watch. Alright. Looks like the pickup needs some fuel. I think it's time for an oil change. Go ahead and take care of that quick leg here. Yeah. Oil change, plugs, distributor cap. All standard maintenance for vehicles of this age. Alright. Now it's going to be time to plant that barley. Start here. I'm going to need pallet of seeds. Solid fertilizer. Gonna need more than that. Alright. 1,000 liters of solid fertilizer should be enough. Alright. We're set for barley. Looks like I'm going to need more fertilizer pretty soon. I don't need it right away, but I'll go ahead and order it now while I'm thinking about it. It's with how far away everything it is, it's best just to order it while you're thinking about it so it doesn't get forgotten. Otherwise, you're waiting 2 weeks. Alright, I will be back once the seeding is done. Alright, planting is done. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I'm going to need to lime it next crop. Now go ahead and go roll that. I'll roll it and then weed it. Alright, I'll be back once the weeding is done. Alright, this finishes the weeding. But the pH is kind of mixed, so I'm going to go ahead and spread some lime. Oh, I don't have any more lime. Alright. Guess I'll have to finish spreading lime at the end of the month. Fortunately, it's the beginning of the month, so I'm getting away with it this time. Yeah, but I've had to spend the second half of the month. You know, I want to be able to just wait and spread lime after the new lime arrived. I would have been just stuck until next year. But that's the one kind of serious challenge here is everything's got to be thought and planned ahead. Yeah, some room to make some mistakes. Which is good since I'm very human and mistakes are in my nature. But I'm going to end this episode right here. Thank you very much for watching.